6. There's the dividends. So I just need to repeat this. I know it's on the previous video, but I just want to repeat that you guys get the difference. There's two types of questions that they ask regarding dividends. Okay, so now the moment they talk, can you see this heading? It says returns. So now this is all about the returns for the shareholders, meaning this is Roshi. Earnings is EPS, dividends is DPS. And I just want to repeat again, DPS is about how many cents do you earn for every share that you have. So if the DPS is 5 cents, it means, and you have 100,000 shares, it means it will be 100,000 times 5 cents is the dividends that you as a shareholder will get. The moment, however, like here, where they talk about the dividend policy, remember the other name is the dividend payout rate, and sometimes they just say dividend rate. That one is to see, okay, my earnings, my EPS is 70 cents. How much of that 70 cents goes for dividends and how much goes for retained income, which is basically the way the company saves. So in other words, if I look at this, it will be the EPS over, the DPS over the EPS, the percentage of the total earnings being declared as dividends, and the remaining is the retained. Can you see it's two separate questions? Okay. They asked me in the previous question, they asked me to calculate the DPS. Remember? And then I had to go look at the interim and the final. I did the two calculations. You see the difference? Now, explain how the company managed to fund the high dividends. Okay, now let's quickly go look at the info. Can you see the dividends per share increased from 120 to 160 cents? Ne? So they're paying more per share. Now, let's go look. My dividend payout rate is less. What does that mean? Can you see here, if you look, the DPS increased from 120 to 160. Meaning, if you are a shareholder, you are now earning 40 cents more per share than last year. Can you see that? So this is good for you, and you are very happy. Okay? But now if I look at the payout, the dividend payout rate, can you see it decreased? I want you to see this. If I look there, last year I paid 96% dividends and I retained 4%. Can you see that? This year I dividend 80%, I retained 20%. So can you see my savings is going up? So now they are asking you, how did I go and finance the fact that I am paying out more dividends, even though the dividends is a smaller percentage of the earnings? Where did I get the cash from? Okay, now if you look at this answer here, they say, firstly you have to say, they want to talk about the dividend payout rate. Ne? If you read the question, they say, explain how the company managed to fund this. provide, oh, that's the second one. So if I look here, I see 3.5. Is it on my answer plate? Where? Oh, here it is. So if I look here, no, that's not 3.5, 3.6. Ooh, now everybody in the country can see how demakor I am. Oh, explain how they managed it. So there it is. Now, this thing here, can you see I put a question mark here? Because if you look at this is not something that I have taught you. Can you see this is now a higher order question for those guys who get 100%. Now let me just quickly explain to you. When I repurchase shares, I repurchase shares, in our case, always above average. You agree with me? Okay? Now, what will happen? So then what I do above average, I use ordinary share capital and I use my savings for that which I repurchase more. Right. But can you see we are also, if we can repurchase above average, we can also purchase below average. Ne? That's not in our syllabus, but it makes sense. Because if I can do something above, I can also do something below. If something above makes me have to use my savings, my retained, what would be the implication if I buy back below? I'm going to save money. Can you see it's going to increase my savings? So I'm not going to show you the entries for that. But I am now going to pay less than the average price for my share. So now they say there, the profit of the shares repurchased will be redistributed to existing shareholders. And I have to be honest with you, nothing in that sentence makes any sense to me. Okay? But if you go look at this, where did I repurchase? Do they tell me that I repurchased? Yes. I repurchased 240,000 shares. Nowhere do they tell me how much I paid for it. So we need to find that information somewhere else. Okay? Now, if I go look somewhere else, I have to be honest, I cannot see it anywhere here without your help. Does anybody else see somewhere where they say we sold it under average? Do you see it anywhere in any information?
Ma'am, the average, I think, ma'am, they took the 176, ma'am, as the average price, ma'am, under here, ma'am. And that's like, ma'am, I think they took it as the average.
Okay, so if I look at this, that 750 was the average price. Okay? But where do they show you how much I bought it back for?
When they do.
Exactly. So I don't know where they got that, and I'm on camera saying it. But can you see now, this thing has got the potential to do what? To stress you so out that you're going to look now here and you're not going to find anything just like that. Okay? And just quickly go look. How much did this cost? How much did it come? If I had to answer it, I would have said, oh, you know what? I would have financed it with the retained income. Ne? Because if I look here, can you see I'm retaining more? So it means actually, if I go look, that my, do they give me profit? Now they don't give me anything, no. But everything went up. Can you see your earnings went up? If your earnings go up, how is it possible for your earnings to go up? Your earnings go up if your net profit goes up. Ne? Because what is earnings? It's net profit after tax over shares. So what's happening here? Your earnings is going up, which means your profit is more. And I would have said we use that to fund the dividends. That's what I would have said.
Ma'am, for the profit, ma'am, didn't they say like, ma'am, that